Hey everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So last week we did the coldest US states. This time we're going to do the warmest. So let's jump in and let's do the top 10 warmest states in America.
Do you dread the return of winter each year? At the first snowfall, do you spend your time daydreaming about beaches and sunshine instead? Well, if you're considering moving to a warmer state, you're not alone. According to a survey conducted by Zillow, one of the reasons many Americans move is because they're searching for better weather. Well, today on Across the Globe, we're going to look at the 10 warmest states to live in America. And by warmest, I mean great weather year-round.
Okay.
Number 10, Arizona.
Oh,
Did you know that
10?
Arizona is the sunniest state in America? But it doesn't stop there. Its capital is the sunniest city in the U.S.
Where I live in Queensland, we're called the Sunshine State because we get a lot of sunshine. We don't do daylight saving or anything like that. We're also the sun cancer capital of the world too, so hand in hand. So, okay, I thought Arizona would be a little higher up the list there. Okay.
In fact, every year Phoenix sees 300 sunny days. For reference, one of the least sunny states in America, Washington, only has about 165 sunny days per year.
Ooh,
but it's not just the sunshine that makes Arizona's weather great. If you like dry heat, you'll be pretty happy here.
See, that's the thing. Brisbane gets that real humid heat, which sucks. Because you can't get cool. Doesn't matter what you do. It's so hot, and that's humidity. Killer.
Temperatures in cities like Phoenix range from the mid-40s during the night in the winter to a little over 100 degrees in the summer.
Yeah.
So if you like mild winters and extra hot summers, this may be the place for you. However, I will note that temperatures in Arizona have been on the rise in the past few years, with some predictions even declaring that Phoenix may be so hot by 2050 that it'll be uninhabitable. So you may want
to... In 20 years? Wow. Okay. I saw it got down to 44. That's too cold. That's much colder than we get here in Brisbane.
To take that into consideration if you're looking into moving here. Okay. Number 9, California. California is the third biggest state by landmass after Alaska and Texas, and because of this, its temperatures vary wildly. In parts of Southern California, you might find yourself in a t-shirt year-round, while in other areas you might be wading through snow in the winter. But parts of California are home to some of the mildest temperatures in the country. This is especially the case in Southern California. Look at San Diego, for instance, where weather typically varies from 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to the upper 70s and low 80s in the summer.
That's not 80s is not very high. Okay, San Diego looks like the Gold Coast, about half an hour from where I'm sitting. Okay.
That's a range of only about 30 degrees. Southern California is also home to some of the sunniest cities in the U.S. Los Angeles, for instance, has 275 sunny days each year, while Fresno has 267. I will note, though, that every state with good weather has its downsides as well. And in California, that's wildfires. This may...
Yep, we get a lot of bushfires here in Australia, Queensland, all over. Yep.
Be reason enough for some of you to steer clear of the Golden State. Number 8, Texas. Texas has seen a ton of people moving to it in recent years, and while a great deal of that is financially motivated, people are also flocking to Texas in search of better weather. While Texas has pockets that are overly hot and humid, some of the state is actually pretty mild. Think mild winters and warm summers, which for some of you may be the ideal combination. Northern parts of Texas can reach as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter, but southern Texas has winter temperatures that are in the 60s and 70s. That does mean that summers get pretty hot though. In southern Texas, especially near the Gulf Coast, It can get pretty
Texas
humid,
Longhorn.
and temperatures can reach upwards of 100 degrees. But for winter lows of 60s during the day, that might not be so bad at all. Number 7, Louisiana.
Okay.
Humidity tends to polarize people. Some people completely love it and hate dry heat. Others would take dry heat over muggy weather any day.
Yep.
If you fall into the former, Louisiana might be the place for you. In fact, Louisiana is the 3rd most humid state in the country with 74%.
Alaska? As humid? Okay.
Average relative humidity. However, humidity doesn't always translate to constant warm weather. After all, the most humid state is Alaska at 77%, and it's definitely not shorts weather there year-round. But luckily, Louisiana is warm. In the southern parts of the state, temperatures rarely go below the low 50s in the winter, and in the summer, temperatures are typically a balmy 82 degrees at the high end. However, remember when I said that every state with warm weather also has its downsides? Well, in Louisiana, that's hurricanes. In fact, Louisiana has the 3rd most hurricanes in the U.S., with 21% of hurricanes that hit the U.S. hitting Louisiana.
That's a lot.
Number 6,
That's a lot.
Hawaii.
Okay.
It should be no surprise that Hawaii's one of the warmest states in America. After all, tourists flock to Hawaii for its warm temperatures year-round. In this state, you might find yourself on the beach in December
Oh,
or
look at the color of that water. Wow.
January just as often as in July or August. That's because the average winter temperature is, get this, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. That's warmer than the summer in some parts of the country. Hawaii's summers, meanwhile, are about 85 degrees.
That's not much.
The other
That's
great thing about Hawaii is that the water is warm year-round too, so you can take advantage of the ocean whenever you feel like it. For instance, the average ocean temperature in the summer is a balmy 82 degrees, while it's 77 degrees in the winter. No wonder one of this state's nicknames is...
it looks so much like the Gold Coast. Ridiculous. Same kind of water as well, that kind of turquoise.
Paradise. Number 5, South
Definitely
Carolina.
paradise.
South Carolina is one of the fastest growing states in the country, behind only Florida and Idaho. In fact, between 2021 and 2022, it grew 1.7%. And while the draws include a more affordable cost of living and the laid-back charm of the South, the weather is another major draw. South Carolina is the perfect place for you if you like 4 seasons but don't like your weather too hot or too cold. You want it just right. December through February are the coldest months here, but they're still pretty mild when compared to other parts of the country. While lows can reach 34 degrees Fahrenheit, keep in mind that that's overnight
freezing.
lows, when you're likely already going to be inside. During the day, however, winters are much more mild and can even reach the mid to upper 50s. During the spring and fall, you'll enjoy mild temperatures ranging from mid 40s to upper 60s, and summers can reach 90 degrees. Plus, being on the coast, you can enjoy South Carolina beach life year-round. This state has over 2,800 miles of coastline, which means miles and miles of white sandy beaches. Number 4, North Carolina. South Carolina's neighbor to the north, North Carolina also has some pretty great weather. While it's slightly cooler than South Carolina, your pockets may feel a bit better. In fact, a recent ranking by Property Shark listed 3 North Carolina cities, Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro, as some of the cheapest places to live in the U.S. with the best weather. If you're in a city like Charlotte, average lows in the winter are anywhere from 30 degrees overnight to mid-40s to 50s during the day, and the summers can reach up to 90 degrees. Number 3, Oklahoma. You may not think of Oklahoma as a particularly warm state, but in fact, it's ranked as the 11th warmest state in the U.S., with an average temperature year-round of 60 degrees. That's just 1 to 2 degrees cooler on average than states like South Carolina and California. While it can get cold in northern Oklahoma in the winter, if you're in the south, you'll be enjoying some pretty mild temperatures even during the winter. In Oklahoma City, for instance, winter temperatures dip to the low 30s overnight, but can reach all the way to 50 degrees during the day. That puts it on par with states like North Carolina and South Carolina. Number 2, Georgia. If you're a fan of 4 seasons but don't want them drastically different from one another, Georgia may be a great place for you. Unlike parts of the northern United States, which endure freezing cold snowstorms in the winter and suffocating muggy heat in the summer, Georgia has 4 distinct but mild seasons. Take the summer, for instance. In the Peach State, you'll enjoy warm, humid weather with temperatures in the 80s to mid-90s. When fall rolls around, you can enjoy the leaves changing color, but without the freezing temperatures that accompany fall foliage in other parts of the country. In fact, in September, temperatures range from 64 all the way to 80 degrees for Atlanta. Like I said, Georgia gets 4 seasons, so you won't be immune from the winter living here. However, you also won't be dreading going outside in the winter, as temperatures range from the 50s to 60s. And luckily, winter doesn't last long. Spring rolls around come March, with temperatures hovering around the mid to upper 60s. Number 1, Florida.
Yeah.
Florida is nicknamed the Sunshine State for a reason.
Okay.
While it doesn't get as many sunny days as states like Arizona, it still comes in at 230 sunny days across the entire state on average. Northern Florida has a bigger variance in weather than southern Florida, with average winter temperatures in the northern part of the state spanning from 50 to 70 degrees and summers ranging from 90 to over 100 degrees. Southern Florida, on the other hand, sees winter months in the upper 70s and summers in the mid to upper 80s. Some years, that's a range of less than 15 degrees.
Yeah, that's not
so
different,
here,
is it?
you truly can enjoy the weather year-round, for the most part, because there's one caveat. Like Louisiana, Florida also has hurricanes, and it's actually the state with the most hurricanes in the entire country, with 40% of hurricanes that hit the U.S. hitting Florida. So there is some trade-off for the rest of Florida's balmy days, but you may, like many others, have decided that it's worth it. What about the states everyone is leaving? Watch this video to learn about that.
Oh, that's interesting. So, some of those states surprised me. Obviously, I'm not surprised about Florida, as I said. I think Florida maybe on par a little bit with Queensland. I don't know if we're maybe a little bit, especially in Brisbane, definitely with that humidity. But pretty much on par, I think we get 100 over 100, you know. Sometimes we get average about 37 degrees here in Brisbane, on top of the humidity as well. So it's a real pain. But like the Carolinas surprised me with the heat. California didn't really, because I know it's obviously runs quite a long, skinny state up the coast there. But I thought Texas would have been maybe a little higher in the poll there. Interesting. Yeah, the Carolinas kind of threw me a little bit. And Oklahoma's in the middle there, so I'm not really surprised, but I thought it would have gone a little bit colder in Oklahoma. Maybe, you know, obviously, they're averaging the temperatures out, so I'm sure there's pockets there where it does get very cold. So, but no surprise with the number 1. Just a few kind of surprises in the middle there. So, but definitely you get a wide range of temperatures in America for sure. So if you have a particular notion of where you want to live, and you can, you know, obviously, you know, within your means to move. So you definitely got that choice of, you want it cold. There's definitely cold. I don't know why you would want it cold like that. That is crazy. Or you want it a little bit warmer, you know, obviously those southern states, you know, Florida, etc. If you can deal with the dry heat and maybe the humidity as well too. So Arizona, so many sunny days. Okay, I don't know what the average is in Queensland for sunny days. It'd be quite a lot. It'd be quite a lot. It's probably on par with Arizona, I'd say. So, but let me know what you thought of that one, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. That was right up my alley. You know, I'm kind of in Queensland. We're used to the warmer weather. You know, it gets down to 60 for our winter, and we find that freezing. You know, freezing here because we do have that kind of warm weather all year round. So, yeah, 60 is that is cold for us. That is cold for us for sure. So, and then we complain about the heat when it gets in the summertime. It's always the same, you know. It's too cold, it's too hot. There's no middle place, you know. So, but let me know what you guys thought of that. Thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure you stay safe, and I'll definitely see you in the next reaction video. Did you enjoy that video? Why not watch another one?